Hi, my name is Nik Cook. I'm a psychology practitioner with the Optimum Health Clinic. Today we're going to be talking about dealing with our inner critic. So, who is the inner critic? The inner critic is a voice in our head that gives us a hard time and criticizes us. It's an inner voice of authority, or even a parental voice, but not necessarily one of our parents. It's a force inside that constantly evaluates and assesses our worth as a human being, and thus limits our capacity to be fully alive in the present moment. So you might ask, why do we have one? Why do we have this voice in our head? Well, it's evolutionary hardwired. It keeps us in line. So back in the day when we were running around on the savannah and we had to be part of a tribe in order to survive, if we didn't have our parents there, because maybe our parents had died because that's what happened when we were sort of eking out of existence on the savannah, we needed a voice that said, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, you shouldn't be doing this. So it kept us alive. So we have this voice to keep us within the constructs of society. But it can, and often does, become pervasive, stress-causing, and unhelpful. So what does it tend to say to us? What are the thought patterns that tend to be associated with that inner critic? So they tend to be the shoulda, woulda, couldas. I should be getting better quicker. If I hadn't gone on holiday, I wouldn't have crashed. I could have stopped myself becoming ill if I'd done X, Y, and Z. Also, the inner critic tends to be about what other people think about me. But actually, it's not what other people think. They've normally got enough of their own stuff going on. It's about what that voice in your head is saying. It can also be about not being good enough, failing, being stuck. All of those sorts of thought patterns. So, how do we tend to react to that inner critic? We often give in. Yeah, I really am rubbish at meditation. I might as well not bother. We rationalize with it. So we almost enter into a dialogue with it, or we fight back and argue with it. The problem is, none of these approaches tend to work. None of them tend to stop the attack. And in actual fact, often they just fuel that inner critic and make it even more vocal. So what should we do? So the first thing is to build an awareness of how and when the inner critic is attacking. What thought patterns are coming from the inner critic, bearing in mind what we've talked about earlier. The next is to realize that the inner critic's a bully. And the best way to deal with a bully is to disengage with a smile on your face. They're a bit like a troll on social media. They're looking for a rise. So engage, disengaging, and not taking the bait. I hope you found that helpful today. For any more information, visit the clinic website, www.theoptimumhealthclinic.com.